All right, we are recording now. Again, thank you everybody for joining us on this special presentation here on obtaining your citizenship in Dominica. With me today, I have two very special co-hosts. We have Jamie Alleyne first. She is the managing partner there at Blue Marble Citizens. Jamie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, Ivan. Thank you. It's a pleasure to host with you today. I want to say a warm welcome from Dominica to all our participants. I'm very thankful for taking part, to be able to take part in today's webinar. My name is Jamie Alleyne, as Ivan said, and I am a lifestyle and business migration expert. One of the tools in my toolbox over the last 10 years is also being an agent for citizenship by investment. So this gets the dream to come true. And so I'm very happy to be able to share on Dominica's Citizenship by Investment program today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie. And also our second special guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Gregor Nassief. He is the owner of Secret Bay Resort. Gregor, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody? Ooh, yes, you are.
Thank you very much, Ivan.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks to all of you for joining. I will be sharing with you the opportunity to invest in Secret Bay as a qualifying investment for citizenship. And I am the founder of Secret Bay, and it is a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thanks, Ivan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gregor. And we're going to be hearing from Gregor a little bit later on towards the end of the presentation. He's going to give us a very insightful a presentation about Secret Bay Resort and the opportunities that are available there. But first, before we go ahead and get started and get some information from Jamie here on how you can obtain your citizenship in Dominica, I did want to give everybody a little bit of a clarification here. So normally, if you've joined us on a lot of our ECI webinars, we've talked a lot about obtaining a second residency, right? We very much believe in having that plan B, having that second residency in another country. That's something that we do encourage everybody to look into and explore and see if that's something that makes sense for you. But a lot of the times that area does get a little bit blurred. People want to know what the difference is between having a residency or having your residency in another country and what citizenship means. And so we have some details here for you to clarify that. So, when you travel to any country, you get that visa that gets stamped in your passport. That is your tourist visa, right? And that gives you a certain amount of time to be in the country and travel around and explore, but it is for a limited amount of time. Now, if you're looking to perhaps move to another country and work there, you could become a resident of that country. And essentially what residency means is a green card. You are obtaining a green card to live and work and pay taxes and do all of that good stuff in another country. And now citizenship is a step even further. Citizenship means that you are now officially a member of that country. You will get a passport. You won't just have a green card, you will have a passport from that country. And so that opens up a whole new array of opportunities and options for you if you are looking to perhaps diversify in many different areas. So that is the differentiation there between your citizenship and your and residency. Residency is the green card. Citizenship is the passport. So I did just want to clarify that a little bit for everybody as we go into the presentation. And what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and hand over the reins to the wonderful Jamie, and she will be providing you with some very helpful information here on how you can obtain your citizenship in Dominica. All right, Jamie, take it away. Oh, you are muted there, Jamie.
Okay. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you very much. Okay, so as Ivan said, I'm here presenting on citizenship by investment in real estate in Dominica. Citizenship by investment generally I'm going to speak about, and then we can get into the nitty-gritty of citizenship by investment in real estate. And I'm very excited that Gregor is going to be sharing the Secret Bay option with you, which I believe to be the top option in Dominica. So let's get started. Why second citizenship? So recent events especially, I mean, second citizenship has been around for quite a while, for years, decades in fact, and was introduced in the Caribbean in the late 80s and early 90s in Dominica. Dominica is one of the oldest citizenship by investment programs, actually. Recent events, however, in 2020, we saw that the industry itself sort of increased dramatically because people, it basically highlighted the necessity for options. People are looking for more options. So 2020 was a year, I suppose, that had, you know, we had the pandemic to combat with, that we are still combating with, and other socio-political events. And so we saw that this drove the industry even more because people were looking for options. An alternative citizenship obviously provides these options, right? It provides options. So how do you acquire a second citizenship? You usually acquire citizenship by birth, but you can also acquire citizenship by descent and by residency. For example, living in a certain country for 7 years. Each country has its own criteria, of course, and also citizenship by investment. So just a caveat here, just to let everyone know there's nothing illegal about it. Citizenship by investment is a legitimate route to citizenship. It is a fast and easy path to having an alternative nationality. Over the past 2 decades, as I touched on before, the motivations for a second citizenship generally were social or civil unrest across the world, right? So we have clients from across the world, including the United States and Canada. But many came from countries where there might be social or civil unrest, or countries where passport mobility was generally an issue. We also saw motivations such as asset migration and lifestyle changes. Lifestyle change always was a motivating factor, I believe, for American and Canadian citizens. Expanded business opportunities, right? So having access to any one of the Eastern Caribbean jurisdictions will also provide access to the other jurisdictions based on the treaties, the single market and economy, and free movement of people within the OECS, or Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. So this is historically what we have seen in the citizenship by investment sector in the Caribbean, in the Eastern Caribbean, over the last 2 decades. What we saw curiously come out of 2020 was a shift in the priorities for second citizenship. In my practice, generally, I saw that there was an increased motivation for a change of lifestyle. We saw that people wanted, I'll tell you what, exactly what we're doing right now on this webinar using Zoom. All of a sudden, Zoom blew up. It became the buzzword. It became the norm for doing business. And many businesses, many persons realized that they could actually work from anywhere in the world. And this realization has stepped up the possibilities. It really has offered infinite possibilities to persons looking or just desiring to either live abroad full-time or part-time, you know, that they have that flexibility. Passport mobility, as I mentioned, has always been a motivating factor for second citizenship. But what we saw in this case with 2020 is that countries such as the United States for the first time were looking for passport mobility. While it had been a motivating factor for other countries, for some other countries who subscribed to the program, it was not necessarily one of the key motivating factors of the United States. But for the first time, we saw travel bans imposed on American citizens. And so they too started to realize the benefits of having a second citizenship. I myself am a citizen of 3 countries, and I experience on a day-to-day basis the value of having alternative citizenship. expanded business opportunities, as we spoke about, social and civil unrest, political motivations. Again, with Americans, we saw the spectrum on both sides of the spectrum, people motivated to inquire about second citizenship, asset migration. Right, so to speak specifically to Americans, we saw that there was a change of pace or lifestyle. Our American clients tended to look for that, number one. And, you know, quite frankly, I take, as a practitioner, I love clients who are actually looking for this change of lifestyle. It gives me great gratitude, I should say, because they are genuinely interested in coming to visit. It's not just about passport mobility. They have fallen in love with your country. You know, this is, for me, it brings me a lot of gratitude. We saw socio-political issues, as I said. Some Americans for many years have looked at taxes as a motivating factor, but a small amount of them. This is because of the far-reaching arm of FATCA, as we all know. So those Americans who seek citizenship as a way to restructure their taxes or so on, it's because they might eventually choose to renounce citizenship, and that's a small number. Travel mobility, insurance against governmental controls. I think all of us realized just how, you know, how much the government, and maybe they're well deserving to have control over our lives, but many people started to think about that and also just wanted a backup plan, I suppose, as a result. Business and professional options. So this goes hand in hand with the change in lifestyle. You know, a few weeks ago, I've been dealing with some clients who are interested in, they've been approved for citizenship and are now looking to have their license, their medical license in their new country, their new nationality, their country of new nationality. They have a thriving practice already in the United States, and so we're going through the licensing procedure. So these are some of the things, right? Or opening up shop, opening up business, and looking at the options available to them there. So why Dominica? And this question is always asked because you have other countries within the Eastern Caribbean, a few others, who offer the program. So they ask why Dominica, and I basically ask why not. I'm going to just say here, ownership in today's featured property only requires an investment of 218,000 USD. And the reason I start with that, so Gregor is going to share his option with you, and I'm sharing his, stealing his thunder a little bit here by sharing his price point, because in truth and in fact, Dominica is one of the most affordable. If you take St. Lucia, for example, the next threshold for the minimum citizenship by investment in real estate is $300,000, right? So it's definitely affordable, it's quick. Even through the COVID-19 pandemic, the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, processing times remained ideal. There's an advertised processing time of 90 days, but we are seeing processing between 2 to 3 months. So this is really good, and they're quick and efficient, seamless. We run through the entire process with you. We provide that support throughout, and Dominica's citizenship is sought after, in fact. It is ranked the best citizenship by investment program for the 4th consecutive year. This is the best CBI program in the world for the 4th consecutive year, ranked by the CBI Index of Private Wealth Management magazine, a publication of the Financial Times. So these are high accolades for Dominica's citizenship by investment program. Why is it ranked so highly? Strong passport for visa-free travel and freedom of movement. Okay, so this passport, this citizenship, you know, there's a saying that we're selling passports. Sometimes this is wrongly, I think, communicated to the world or to the community. This is not what we do. This is a pathway to citizenship citizenship, right? And once you have citizenship, like any of the other legitimate means of acquiring citizenship, then you are entitled to a passport, okay? But this passport has access to many countries, over 130 countries for visa-free travel, lowest investment requirement, of all the Eastern Caribbean jurisdictions, efficient processing, as I said, quick time to process, it's near to the United States and Canada for quick relocation in times of uncertainty. So that also makes it very popular amongst North Americans. No Dominica residency and travel requirements when you take the investment route. And I put as one of the advantages also, and the reason it is highly ranked, due diligence and confidentiality throughout the process. Due diligence is important. We do due diligence. The government hires third-party agencies to do due diligence, as well as the regional justice systems. They do their due diligence as well. And this is important. Why? Because we need to vet these applicants for citizenship by investment to ensure that the integrity of our passport, our sovereign nationality, remains highly ranked, remains one of great value. And so anyone applying should be happy to engage in the due diligence process. Now I'm just going to share some pictures from my beautiful country of Dominica, also known as the Nature Island and known for 365 rivers, one for every day of the year. You can just see a sampling of some of our beautiful waterfalls here. It's also ranked as one of the top 10 dive destinations. This gentleman is snorkeling in the Champagne Reef. You see the champagne bubbles bubbling all around him. The Marine Reserve. Dominica is well known for its diving. Also for its hot sulfur spas, one of my favorite natural hot sulfur spas. The Boiling Lake, this is one of only 2 in the world, the other being in New Zealand. So many tourists and visitors come to visit, to see or to view the Boiling Lake. This is just one of our beautiful coves and perhaps one of the most beautiful. And right here in the corner, you will see the residences, the real estate option that Gregor is going to speak about, his property. It overlooks this gorgeous cove right here. So I felt I should share that. One of my favorite waterfalls in Dominica right here, a family enjoying that. We have a thriving yachting industry. We have a very enthusiastic cruising community as well. So those of you who have your sailboats coming from Annapolis and from Fort Lauderdale and so on, who come over there, we find a lot of our cruisers, our yachting community also interested in citizenship in Dominica. It was ranked the only Caribbean country to be ranked best of the world by 2021 by National Geographic Traveler UK. So that's another high accolade for Dominica right there. And just to give you some perspective, here is the United States in the north, Dominica right there smack in the middle of the Lesser Antilles of the Caribbean. You'd see that right there. Let's zoom in a little bit. It's directly in between the French islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique. There's a ferry that runs, so you have air travel between all the islands, but you also have a ferry that runs from Guadeloupe to Dominica to Martinique to St. Lucia. So there are other options for getting around the islands quickly and easily. The Nature Isle, Dominica, also known as the Nature Isle of the world, currently ranked as a COVID-19 low-risk country. Official language is English, so not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. This is the Commonwealth of Dominica, which is an English-speaking country. Our second language is French, with French Creole dialect. Capital, Roseau, religion, Christianity, although there are a number of other religions on island, but the main religion is Christianity. Currency, the East Caribbean dollar, which is tied to the US dollar for a good number of decades at this moment, 2.71 EC to 1 US dollar. Main industries, agriculture, tourism, and manufacturing. The government system is a parliamentary republic. The legal system, like the United States and Canada, is based on English common law and follows the same precedent. Stable political climate, zero capital gains tax. So some of the highlights of the Nature Island, Dominica. Something I wanted to point out here again as to why Dominica. Dominica has recently made some unprecedented changes to their expansion of the addition of qualifying dependents, so family members who can qualify as a dependent. So as our Prime Minister says here, Dominica is a family-oriented country, and therefore the Citizenship by Investment program should reflect that. Adding family members to your application is pretty simple, right? So you have your spouse, which is normal, the child below the age of 18, but then here we go to the child aged 18 to 30 who is substantially supported. Does not have to be wholly supported, but substantially supported, and you can provide some documentation to support that. Child age 18 years with physical or mental impairment and also substantially supported. A parent or grandparent substantially supported. Spouse of a dependent. So you see the range of variability, the range of qualifiers to add family members. Biological or legally adopted sibling, the age 25 or under, single, childless, and also substantially supported. So there are definitely options to ensure that your whole family can enjoy the lifetime benefit of citizenship and alternative citizenship. So in Dominica, there are two options two pathways to citizenship by investment. One is a donation to the National Economic Fund for a single applicant. That would be $100,000 US plus fees. So this is a donation into the National Economic Fund. And then there is option number two, citizenship by investment in an approved real estate project. So to be clear, this is not purchasing any random property. This is an approved, vetted real estate project, which is what we're going to talk about. For example, with our featured property today, starting at $218,000 per share with plus fees, right? So these are just to be clear on the two options for citizenship. To focus in a bit on the real estate option and the benefits, these include lowest threshold for citizenship via real estate, as I said, in the Eastern Caribbean. The nearest we have is St. Lucia at 300,000. It offers a turnkey solution to citizenship plus lifestyle. So you have both, you get it done. You have both citizenship and lifestyle at your fingertips when you're done with the process. Return of investment through resale of the preferred share after 5 years. So after 5 years, you can resell your share under the Citizenship by Investment program. But as I'm sure Gregor will touch on, in the case of his property, for example, you have options to sell before the 5 years. There's a robust exit strategy. Right, zero property transfer fees or taxes. You have free resort accommodation packages when you purchase into the real estate option. Lifetime citizenship, of course, for families, which I just spoke about, and annual dividends, which we don't speak too much about unless we're speaking to accredited investors, right? But this is certainly one of the advantages. So how does the journey to citizenship via real estate investment begin? There are two general ways, right? So someone might fall in love with the place or the property. I'm sure Gregor could attest to people who have stayed at his property at Secret Bay and have fallen in love and said, hi, I would like to purchase into this and gain citizenship of this beautiful country. I mean, I at the last webinar here, when we spoke about Dominica citizenship, I had just been contacted by a guy the week before who was visiting Dominica and gave me a call up and said, listen, I've fallen in love with your country. I know where your office is. I'm coming because I just want to, I want to become a citizen of this country, right? And so, as I said, nothing gives me greater joy. However, by far the more typical route is people are seeking out citizenship options, right? So they're looking for that. So either way is beautiful. And once they've decided, yes, we're going forward with citizenship by investment, it's a 5-step process. Step number 1, the applicant expresses interest in the property of their choice and signs the preferred share sales and purchase agreement or share reservation agreement. It depends on the property you're dealing with. The investor transfers a percentage of that total investment according to the agreement of the property that they've chosen. Within 7 working days of signing, the investor collects citizenship application documents. So your agent, if it were me, for example, I would give you all your citizenship application documents and help you to fill them all out, help you to get your documents together. I vet them with you electronically. And when your package is all put together, you send that across to me. So step number 3 is the investor will pay for their processing, due diligence, and authorized agents fees. And the agent then submits application on behalf of that applicant to the government. Step number 4, the application and due diligence go through the processing stage and the due diligence stage. Once approved, a letter is issued confirming this approval, and the individual is invited to make their investment. So the investor then transfers the remainder of their investment to the property owner, the developer, and as well as the remaining government fees. They transfer that as well at this stage. And then we get to the stage number 5 that everyone is excited about, where the government issues their certificate of naturalization. We go in there to immigration with your certificate of naturalization, get your passport. You also get your property documentation, etc. And we courier that to the investor, who is then a new citizen, a new owner, and can enjoy the benefits of that. Taking a closer look for a matter of transparency, just so that you know all the fees involved. Government fees. If your application for Dominica citizenship by real estate investment is approved, the following government fees also apply. So if you're a single applicant, you would have to pay $25,000. So this is after you've been approved. Then there's a government administration fee to pay. For a single applicant, that would be $25,000. For a family of up to 4 persons, it would be $35,000, and so on. So you can go through that. I'll hold that up there a little bit so you can take some notes if you would like. I know that the presentation will be published after, I'm sure. So you can also have a chance to go through that. $50,000 for a family of up to 6 persons, just so you know the government fees, fully transparent upfront. Additional fees. In addition to the capital required for that investment and the government fees, we of course have our processing fees. These are the non-refundable fees. These are the fees that are paid ahead of time. Your processing fee, of course, the unit has to be paid for their administrative work, and it's very good compared to the other islands. It's only $1,000 per application. Due diligence fees. These are also non-refundable because they have to be paid to third-party agencies to carry out due diligence to ensure that you meet the criteria, the standard. Right? So $7,500 for the main applicant, $4,000 for a spouse, and $4,000 also for any dependent age 16 or above, not applicable to dependents below the age of 16. Certificate of naturalization fee, $250 per person. Expedited passport issuance fee, $1,200 per person. So let's just do the math. Let's take the numbers I gave you and let's crunch that in, right? So we're going to take a sample family, say a family of 4 with 2 children below the age of 16. This is a common occurrence, a family of this size. So we have the due diligence fees in there. That's $7,500 if you're following along with me. $7,500 for the main applicant, plus $4,000 for the spouse. So that would be $11,500. We then add the government processing fees. So that's 1,000 times 4, because there are 4 applicants in total. That equals 4,000. Certificate and passport fees, when you multiply that by 4 for everyone, that's 5,800, plus the government fee applicable to a family of 4, that's 35,000. Now this is upon approval, 35,000, plus your investment sum in a property such as the one we will feature today that Gregor will speak about, 218,000. So when you total that all up, it's $274,300 plus your authorized agent's fee, which is not too much, and it depends on who you use. $274,300. if you look at that number, it is still below the minimum real estate investment threshold of St. Lucia, for example, at 300,000. That's before fees, right? So you can see that Dominica really is, it lives up to its name of being an affordable option. And 274,300 will get you citizenship plus ownership plus lifestyle. Citizenship application documentation. Now, this is the part that everyone loves, not. It's simple, it's okay. I'm just going to run this through you. The documents required for Dominica CBI application. There are a few application forms that must be filled out, such as the disclosure form, where you give your details, your passport details, your birth record, your current living address, these sorts of details. Also your source of wealth, your source of income, of course, that has to be established, right? Letter to minister, we prepare that for you. 2 completed notarized application forms for each person. Notarized copy of passport. Now I have notarized here, but each of these should be duly certified, duly notarized, right? So your passport, your current national and resident ID, your driver's license, if applicable, birth certificates, notarized copies, marriage and or divorce certificate, police record with fingerprints from your country of birth and a country of residence over the last 10 years prior to applying, if that is different from your country of birth, of course. And this is for each applicant 16 years and older. 1 professional reference. This is simply a reference from someone you've worked closely with in a professional capacity for 2 years or more. Bank reference letter, essentially stating that you've held an account at this bank for, you know, X number of years and it has been in good standing. A very simple letter. Letter of employment if applicable. Company documents if self-employed. Letter from school or notarized copy of transcript as proof of school attendance. This is just one of the supporting documentation you can give to show that one of your dependents is at least substantially supported, right? CV, so your curriculum vitae, notarized copy of any university or college diplomas, passport size photos, original copy of a utility bill. This is to establish as proof of evidence. A military book, which if applicable, of course. As I said, all copies duly notarized and translated, of course, where necessary. A few little bonus insider tips I'd like to share because we're coming to the end of my portion of this. When choosing a property, consider an indigenous developer. That is something that I share with my clients. One who is reputable, has local industry experience. I mean, Gregor is a perfect example of that. And is not only invested in the property, but in the country itself. He's not an external developer come to do this to leave. You know, we're talking about someone who's invested in seeing the tourism product develop. So that's important. Look also for properties already turning a profit or in operation and demonstrating substantial history of making a tourism business work on the island. These are just some smart, handy tips. The application process itself. I always recommend to my clients, don't just start FedExing documents to us. Send scans of these documents for review first. It might seem like common sense, but many people just start shooting documents. And we say, hold up a minute, send me scans, let me review, let me make sure everything is in place so that it can save you time and money. There is not these additional fees for FedExing back and forth, for example, right? If you have any, tip number 2 here, also an important one. If you have any due diligence concerns, inform your authorized agent. If you inform me, I can run it anonymously by the authorities to determine whether the issue is likely to disqualify you. And if that issue is likely to disqualify you, I would not recommend that you go through with the application, okay? Rule of thumb, the more information, the better. These are my tips. That's it. Dominica citizenship plus ownership plus lifestyle, a relatively simple option in the citizenship by investment program. So I'm going to hand back over to Ivan. I hope it answered some questions.
Well, it definitely answered a lot of questions for me, Jamie. Thank you very, very much for that. That was very, very informative. You left no stone unturned. So thank you so much. for taking the
Thank
time to
you,
do that
Ivan.
presentation for us. And now what I'm going to do is I'll hand over the reins to Gregor, and he's going to be presenting on Secret Bay, the Secret Bay residences, their beautiful, beautiful property that Gregor has on the island of Dominica. And this is where you'd be able to vacation for part of the year if you'd like to check out the island. But I'll let Gregor give you guys all the details. So with that, Gregor, I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Ivan. Thanks, everyone. Jamie, that was a great job, by the way. I enjoyed it very much. Okay, so just to let everyone know, I stutter, so sometimes I speak a bit slowly, but I'm going to take you through this as quickly as I can. Okay, so the land at Secret Bay, which was a very personal project for me, was acquired over 17 years in small parcels, and we started Secret Bay 10 years ago with 5 acres of land, and we continued to expand it. We started with 4 villas. We increased to 6. In 2016, we were named the world's best boutique hotel. And at that point, we acquired 30 acres of additional land. We added a restaurant and a spa. We were on the cover of Travel and Leisure for the 2nd time, and I think we're the only property worldwide to have graced their cover twice. We launched this project, which is the residences at Secret Bay, in 2019, and we got the approval from the government such that an investment in Secret Bay qualifies you for citizenship. We were also Green Globe certified in that same year for our sustainability efforts, and we also joined the Relais and Chateau brand, which is a very exclusive brand of independent luxury properties. In 2020, we were ranked by Travel and Leisure as the #1 property throughout the Caribbean, and the #6 property worldwide. So that was obviously very, very, very exciting for us. Our first shareholders and purchasers came into Secret Bay at the end of 2019, and so we were able to pay out a positive ROI for them. So those were our first payments to owners and shareholders, and we added 6 villas in 2020, and this year we continue to expand. And the key point is that by the end of the project, when we are fully completed, our density of built structures to land will be less than 7%. Okay, I'm going to play a brief video for you now of Okay. So this is an actual photo of Secret Bay. As you can see, we have access to 3 beaches: Secret Beach on the right, T-Bay Beach, and Coconut Beach on the left. There is a river flowing through the property. So you are in the rainforest, you are on cliff tops, and you are also basically at the beach. Okay, it's a very special place, and the structures on the right are those that are already built, and we have been successfully running now for several years. What you're seeing on the left, several of which have also already been built at this stage, but these are the plans as we continue to expand. Okay, so some of the key criteria, the reasons to take into account in terms of an investment in Secret Bay is, firstly, we exist. We have been operating now for 10 years, and we have been very successful in that time. Secondly, we have a competitive exit strategy, which I'll explain. Thirdly, Secret Bay is part of a group, and we have significant experience in the tourism industry here, and we are very focused on the long-term success of the project. And fourthly, there are perks. So we've been now in operation not for 9 years. This is our 10th year. We have built and proven assets, villas, with a successful financial performance history. Our occupancy rates have been very solid over the years, and our rates, the daily rates, we started at less than 500 US per night, and our rates are now closer to 1,000. So there's been significant growth. So the key thing is that citizenship investors can look forward to the financial ROI from the first day of their investment, because they're investing in something that's already built and not something that that will be built in 3, 4, 5 years. And the fact that we build one villa at a time, and the investment is in a particular villa, means the risk of a broader project failing is not a risk with Secret Bay, because you're investing in something that is there and built. In terms of the exit strategy, based on the fact that we have been successful. Sorry, I went forward too fast there. Yes. So based on the fact that we are successful in our sales to both citizenship investors, we're also successfully selling to non-citizenship investors. And that means that if you wish to sell in the future, you have 2 markets to sell to, which is a very key competitive advantage that we have. Also, we continue to get several accolades. Our rates continue to grow. We continue to invest in the amenities, which means that the value of your investment continues to grow as we grow from strength to strength. Secret Bay is part of the GEMS group, of which I am the major shareholder. GEMS has been operating hospitality projects now for 30 years. We're very committed to Dominica and to the long-term success of the project. And we know how to navigate the challenges of the tourism sector here. And we are very, very focused on succeeding for our investors and obviously for us as well. And lastly, there are perks. So as an investor, as a fractional shareholder of Secret Bay, you can spend 1 week here per year, which in itself has a significant value based on our rates. And we're also part of a global exchange program in which there are 11,000 private villas in 90 countries, which means if you don't want to come to Secret Bay for your week, you can place that week in the exchange program and enjoy that week somewhere else. Okay. Also, what's very special about Secret Bay is that we are an all-villa resort, which means that every villa is on a separate private parcel of land with its own private pool, with its own dedicated staff. And the concept is that you can spend as much time privately as you wish. So you can eat in your villa. The kitchens are fabulous. We can serve you there. The chef can come to your villa. The spa therapist can come to your villa. The yoga instructor can come to your villa. So you can be as private as you want to, or you can come to the common facilities that we have, the spa, the restaurant, and so forth. From a press perspective, we've done extraordinarily well. In 2019, we got 140 pieces of global media coverage, and in 2020 we got 140. So it's been on CNN, Brides, the Not, Vogue, and so on. And of course, the best was to be ranked by Travel and Leisure as the #1 in the Caribbean and the number 6 in the world. Okay, so just to take you through this very briefly, this is the master plan. We are 94% sold out on this phase, and we have already started to, we have completed 4 and almost 6 villas on the second phase, and have also started to sell there. We're also selling to persons in the Clifftop area who want to own a villa outright as opposed to a fractional share. And we have 2 of these lots close to being sold. And likewise, in the Cliffside area, we have 4 lots, and we've sold 1 of those 4. From a legal perspective, GEMS owns Secret Bay, which owns the residences, and each villa is owned by an independent limited liability company, which means if you're buying a fractional share for CBI, you are one of a few shareholders. And if you, in a particular villa and lot, so the company has the freehold title to the villa, and you're buying a share. If you are a whole owner, you simply buy all of the shares in that LLC. Okay, that's how we are structured. And the good news is that our pricing is $208,000 and not $218,000. So we are definitely, I think, not only the best, but the most affordable CBI real estate option throughout the Caribbean. So depending on the villa you investing, it could be one of 8 shareholders, one of 12 shareholders, and you're entitled to 1 week per year. As we said, we're also selling to pure lifestyle purchasers who may or may not have an interest in a CBI, and they buy the entire villa, and those villas are priced from US 1.49 million to US 4.1. And for those, you can stay up to 12 weeks or up to 6 months per year in your villa. And one more video, and I think I'm close to the end. Sorry. Oops. It's a little bit slow and I'm pressing a bit too fast. Let me just do this again. Okay. Welcome to Secret Bay. We are now in one of our beautiful villas to share with you what we believe are the key reasons for citizenship investors to invest at Secret Bay. The first and the most important thing is that Secret Bay has been successfully operating as a resort now for 8 years, and we have done very, very well. So as a citizenship investor, you are investing in an existing villa which has a history of financial performance, and that means from day one you're entitled to a financial return from your investment. Because Secret Bay has non-citizenship investors who are acquiring villas at Secret Bay, citizenship investors can sell their interest in Secret Bay to a non-citizenship investor after just 3 years, or to a citizenship investor after 5 years. This provides for a more flexible and competitive exit strategy. The third point is that Secret Bay is part of the GEMS group. GEMS has been operating hotels in Dominica now for 30 years, and we have the experience and the agility to navigate the challenges and to ensure successful operation for the future. Finally, it's important to think about the perks. As an investor, you are entitled to enjoy 1 week per year at Secret Bay in your villa, or if you prefer, you can exchange that week to spend time in one of over 10,000 villas in 90 countries. We believe that this is a perk which you will use and you will enjoy. So to summarize, we are an existing operation with a proven track record. Your exit strategy is more flexible, and we are part of a group with many, many years of established success. And finally, with your investment comes perks that you can enjoy on an annual basis. Okay, and finally, you are welcome to come to Secret Bay, spend a few days, and that is probably the best way to qualify the investment for you. And I hope to see you here soon. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ivan. Back to you.
All righty, Gregor. Thank you so much for that informative presentation. Beautiful, guys. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous view here. That is the Secret Bay property. Absolutely amazing. Beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. I love those pictures. You guys can see I have it as my background here. Just a beautiful, beautiful country overall. I saw those pictures that you had there, Jamie. Again, just absolutely gorgeous. And what I do love about this this opportunity again is that you guys really thought about everything. You thought about having that exit strategy available for people, you know, if they're looking at it just from the investment for the citizenship portion, and then you also have the lifestyle element, right? It's something for everybody. So I do love that that aspect that you guys put together there for everyone. But with that, I think we do have a couple of more minutes here left. We're just right on top of the hour. I'm going to go ahead and look at the questions that we've been receiving. So everybody go ahead and type in your questions there for Gregor and Jamie. And I'll go ahead and read off a few here just before we let everybody off. And what I'm seeing here, let me see, 1 second. Whoops, let me go back there. All righty, is there, yes, Lloyd is asking, is there investment opportunity at Secret Bay for 218,000? Well, as Gregor mentioned, it is 280,000, that there are opportunities around there. So
for that, Gregor.
That's
but you know, that makes it even better, right, Jamie? Because that just brings the price down even more.
I don't know why I had 218 on there.
No worries. William is asking, what are the monthly or annual costs of Secret Bay? I'm going to assume that's HOA fees or anything like that. Is there something like that that they would have to expect, Gregor?
Well, no. I mean, the way it is structured is that we send out a financial statement to the owners every 3 months, and you see the income and things like the insurance, utilities, and things like that are offset against the income. So the expectation is that there is never actually cash out, that the income is always covering the expenses. And even for this year, 2020, which was extraordinarily tough, we managed to scrape by without a loss, which is actually quite amazing because the country was closed. The country was closed for 3 or 4 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, wonderful. And this ties back in again. I have Alfred here asking, once we are an investor, do we then pay any future maintenance fees? And I guess you just responded, right? That it's from the returns, all of that is covered, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
Awesome. TA is asking, just to clarify, for this property, there is only fractional ownership of 1 week, correct? I do believe you mentioned there is that whole ownership opportunity as well.
Yes, so we created the fractional share priced at 208, specifically for the citizenship investor. But we're also selling to non-citizenship investors who can buy the entire villa as well.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent, excellent. Candy is asking, what is the quality of life and the demographic of expatriates that moved there? I know one person that lived there for a few months and she thought that it wasn't developed enough. I guess either one of you could answer that one.
Jamie, that's yours.
Well, in terms of the demographic of the expats, we have expats from all around the world. We have a number of Canadian expats, US expats, those from Europe as well, from Switzerland, Germany, French. Many French are attracted to Dominica as well. We do sit between 2 French islands. You know, when looking at a country to move to or to get citizenship or residency in, it really boils down to the individual and what you're looking for. So I don't know why that particular expat may not have been happy. I'm not sure if they were there for work purposes and it was maybe just not in tune with what their priorities are. Many people love Dominica because it is still the authentic Caribbean and it has that charm. It has people who are genuine, and you know, while there is a tourist industry, you still don't feel like a tourist. I mean, someone put that very nicely to me once, that is the feeling you get in Dominica. And the expats have various communities unto themselves. You know, many of them congregate in various parts of the island and get together for activities depending on whether or not that's something that they're interested in. But I definitely, no matter what country you move to or you choose citizenship, and you want to make sure that the values resonate with you. If you're a nature lover, if you're someone who really wants a lifestyle shift and a change of pace for even a part of the year, then Dominica is the place for you because it's going to to provide that contrast.
Lovely, lovely. And I agree with that, Jamie. You know, different strokes for different folks. And you know, if whatever you find that resonates with you, if it's Dominica, then perfect, right? But if not, there's a world of opportunities available. Right. All right. I'm seeing a lot of questions that are coming in, and I do want to be respectful of everyone's time. So I will just answer one more, and then everyone else, what we'll be doing is we'll be responding to your questions directly via email. We're going to put you in touch with either Gregor or Jamie to get your questions answered. But I will get one more here that is asking, how do I get information on historical returns for investors? I think, Gregor, that one's for you.
Yes, so once we're in a process with a potential investor, we will of course share the information with them.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So what I'll do is, Rob, I will pass along your contact details over to Gregor, and then we'll put you guys in touch, and then you can get the information that way. But like I said, I am seeing a ton of really good questions coming in, and I do want to make sure that we get those answered. So we will be reaching out to everybody directly who did submit a question. But again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. And before I let everyone go, Gregor and Jamie, any final words?
No, I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity, and I hope to see a few of you here soon in the Nature Island.
Same here. I want to say thank you to you, Ivan and Gregor. It was a pleasure to host with both of you, and to see Secret Bay. Each time I see Secret Bay presented, I'm in love all over again with that property. And to thank ECI Development for the opportunity to continue to discuss these. So thank you.
Of course. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you both as well. And again, once more, thank you everyone for joining us. We will be sending a recording of the presentation later this evening. So don't worry if you joined in a little bit too late. You will be receiving the recording via email, and we will be in touch with everybody else. But one more time, thank you so much, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, morning, wherever you're calling in from. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye, guys.